Hey guys, thanks for tuning in once again to Walker Vibes. This is Orlando.
This is Denzel.
This is Samantha.
And unfortunately, Brandon wasn't able to make it with us today, but we have Jesse in his seat.
How's it going, guys?
All right, Jesse's awesome. He's got a ton to say today. He loves the show just like us. So, just like last week, I want to start this episode with a little icebreaker.
Icebreaker!
Break.
So, we're going to play a game of Would You Rather, once again. I came up with some really cool Would You Rather scenarios.
Very cool.
And let's have Jesse start, since he is our guest of honor.
Why not? Let's do it.
Pick a card,
All right,
any
so
card.
Pick a card.
Anyone, yeah.
All right.
You have to read it out loud, and you have to say why you would pick.
Whatever you pick.
All right, so
you
it
pick.
says only be able to see at night or only be able to see during the day. Why? I'd have to say only to be able, I don't know. I'd probably see during the day, honestly. It'd probably be the best option.
And why?
Because I do it anyway. So honestly, you see
can't
during
see
the
at
day anyway. Because I'd probably be asleep at night anyway, so.
Oh. But you really can't see at night?
Well, I mean, the average human can, so.
I mean, I feel like we can see at night because of like the moonlight and stuff, but
Yeah, but normally you're in bed and you're sleeping.
I don't know, dude. Night is pretty dangerous. Not be able to see whatsoever. What if you can't sleep that night?
Well, then
Well,
you
I'm-
stay in the house. You don't.
I
No.
mean,
We're in the middle of a zombie apocalypse. Like, there's no necessary house to stay in.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
I mean, even day to day, like being one of the characters in the show, like you do find that as soon as you wake up, you're doing one of three things. You're either looking for food, you're looking for a place to stay, or you're looking to survive. And honestly, like obviously the first two fall into like the third one, but that's probably why I would want to see in the day, because at night I don't want to see what's out there. I want to be inside.
Get it? You're looking to survive.
All right. So let's have Sam pick numero dos.
All right. It says, would you rather eat one walker's finger or eat part of Rick's beard? Why?
And that's a big chunk of Rick's beard.
I mean, okay. Like, I don't see why I wouldn't eat Rick's beard. Why?
Because hair is disgusting.
That's absolutely disgusting.
Because it's Rick's beard, and he would, be a part of me.
That's wow.
Wow.
Okay.
I hope Andrew Lincoln is not listening.
But like,
to
what
this.
would you really eat a rotting corpse's finger over sexy Rick Grimes' beard?
Well, that's up
Beard.
to you to decide.
Beard.
All right, number three. Let's see.
Number 3. Would you rather always smell like onions or always have to wear snow gear?
Even in the middle of summer.
What does this have to do with the zombie apocalypse?
Always smell like onions, so you're constantly inconvenienced with the smell of onions. Or always have to
walkers
wear
like
snow gear.
onions.
So it
So,
could
I
be
mean-
98-degree weather. And
So
you have to wear
me
snow
smelling
gear.
like onions has 0 to do with me surviving, so I'm just gonna go ahead and stay with the onion smell.
Okay, smell like onions.
So can I actually object to that? Can I do that?
Yes, you
Go ahead.
can.
All right. Well, I would actually object to that because although walkers wouldn't be able to smell you, people tracking you would, and especially someone like Daryl, someone who can actually not only see where you're walking, where your tracks, he obviously looks at different things that you come in contact with, trees or bushes, and he could definitely pick up a scent. So if someone like him is on your trail trying to kill you and you smell like onions, that's a huge thing, as opposed to having like a snowsuit that you can use in the summer to possibly provide yourself a small tent or something like that.
A snow suit? How would that help me in the summer?
Well, you would take it off and probably use it as a.
But I can't-
You
I
can't take it off. You can't take it
Oh,
off.
you can't take
You
it off.
always have to wear the snowsuit.
You have to wear the snow.
Yeah, so I would just die.
Well, technically, it would provide you some kind of resistance towards bites.
So the probability of me having to worry about Daryl tracking me versus me basically boiling to death. I think I'll take my chances with the onions.
I don't know because
Maybe I won't get
even
laid, but
even
hey.
Rick said in this last episode, he said the real enemies out there are people.
It's true. I'd still rather smell like onions.
Fair enough.
I like onions.
Fair enough.
Onions doesn't really bother me.
You're the weird one. Go pick your card.
All right. My
People
card.
cry around me all the time. Is that a thing?
No.
Apparently.
I mean,
It must be.
when you cut up onions, it releases whatever like.
We are
So
not.
my pores
scent.
So when you
releasing those
cut up
things that
Denzel-
make me
Maybe
smell
you
like
just smell like
onions.
onions. But when you smell a burger that has onions in it, and you smell the onions, you don't cry.
Maybe I would get laid.
So,
Maybe you would kill it. All right.
Number
Would you-
4.
Would you rather eat Bob's leg uncooked or kill Carl?
Wow.
Carl.
What did you write yourself into?
I don't know. Which Carl do I have to kill? Like season
What?
5 Carl or
It's all the
season
same Carl,
1
though.
Carl? No, it's a different Carl.
Yeah,
Season 5 Carl.
Season 5 Carl would probably kill me.
Yes.
yeah.
So,
If it's
So
season
it's-
5 Carl,
it's
I'm
over
gonna
season
have to
5.
eat Bob's leg uncooked.
Tainted meat.
Oh, that's so gross. Ugh. Now that I'm
Yeah.
thinking about it, yeah, but I can't kill Carl.
And then if you do kill Carl, like everyone else is just gonna kill you. So
If it's season 2 Carl or season 1 Carl, like all day, dude.
but still, then Rick's like shaking you down for the rest of your life. You're gonna die.
That's very true.
Yeah, you-
That
He's
is
gonna
very
bite
true.
your
What
neck
if he
off.
doesn't know that I killed him?
he's gonna
he's
He
gonna
know.
find
will
out,
find
It's
out.
Rick Grimes, bitch.
I would say, hey, I don't know what happened to him. I think someone ate him. I don't know. That's a good point, though. Yeah, I would have. Yeah, regardless if it's season 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, Carl, I would have to not kill him and eat the leg.
Yeah.
I'm eating an uncooked leg.
Eat the leg.
What if it's season 6 Carl and he's a walker?
Chicken leg.
Ooh.
Wow.
We're all walkers. All right. Go ahead,
We're
Jess.
doing all these
There we
inside
go.
jokes.
All right, so I got kill Michonne or kill Daryl Michonne.
Wow.
So-
whoa.
so
You said that
here's-
way too
So
fast.
here's why. Ready? So here's why. So the reason why I would do that is because I know either way I die, Michonne
Shing,
would,
shing, shing,
would
shing.
at least give me a clean death. She
I
would
don't
at
know,
least
dude.
chop my head off, as opposed to Daryl pumping me full of
Pummel you,
arrows.
yeah.
So
So,
pummel you to death, dude.
all right.
Michonne all the
So
way.
you would kill Michonne
I
before.
would, no, I would attempt to kill Michonne.
Yes, that's not even.
I don't know,
a-
dude.
So let's think about this too. So what's the context of killing them? Is it would you rather let Michonne die or let Daryl die? And it's not necessarily you killing them like purposely so that they're gonna maliciously kill you,
Just dying overall.
but just letting them die.
All right, so actually that's a good way of
Like
putting
what
it.
if they're on the side of you,
Um,
full like surrounded by walkers, and you can only save one?
That's actually a really good point. It'd be a really, really, really hard decision, but I'd have to still pick Michonne. Like, she's a great character, but I feel like Darrow's his skill, and yet his person that he doesn't let many people actually see is extremely valuable to the actual group. So I don't know. That'd be really hard to actually choose though.
Gotcha. I don't know. I would. That's a really hard one.
That
I'd
is-
pick Daryl, dude. Because like Michonne is like she's a happy medium with everything. Like she's always like level. Well, for the most part, she's level-headed. She's able to help Rick make better decisions than decisions he's probably thinking on making, and it's just
True.
like
Very true.
she's been that, that bar.
So for me, I don't know, probably early in this season, maybe even last season, I would probably pick Daryl to die. But he's actually shown that he is pretty level-headed too recently.
Yeah.
And, obviously we'll get into that a little bit later. But, yeah.
Cool.
I will never kill my husband.
How many husbands do you have?
A lot, Rick. I love you too.
Jesus. All right, pick number 2. Or number whatever.
Would you rather survive with only Tara or survive with only Rosita?
Ooh.
Oh my God! No,
Aw.
I'm in love with Alana Masterson, so
Cool.
I don't know. Oh God, this is really hard.
They're both Spanish, man.
I know, but no, I'm gonna have to go with Tara.
I don't think Tara's Spanish.
I think she's Spanish.
No,
Is she Spanish?
she's
Oh, this is
no,
Spanish.
she's not.
I don't think
She looks
so.
Spanish.
Well, Alana Masterson overall isn't Spanish.
True.
She looks Spanish.
She does.
Can we just talk about Kristen Serrato's?
Oh,
Can we all just take
They're
a
both
moment?
just absolutely gorgeous women.
Let's take a moment of silence.
They
Can we just
really
take
are.
a moment, though, to just...
All right, moment of silence. All right, okay. Honestly, I would have to go with Tara. Like, I don't know. I mean, I'm not even thinking about it in the context of a character. I'm just thinking about it at them as a person. So I don't know. Well, actually,
Well-
I should think of it as a character. I don't know. Rosita's pretty badass. We haven't really seen. Tara's done some things,
well,
but I feel like Rosita got that sass.
Yeah, she
I don't know, like
too.
without this sounding really like inappropriate,
Which it will.
Like we've already seen Rosita like put out, so I feel like she'd be better to survive with. Like Tara, I don't know, like she's like super nice and she's always happy, so she's gonna keep all of us in a good mood. But then Rosita's gonna keep all of us in a good mood in a different way.
So if we're talking
I mean,
about
not all of us,
if we're
but...
talking about Sam should pick Tara because Tara Tara will give it up.
Yeah. Oh yes, good point.
Yeah.
Good point.
She thinks I'm a creep already,
Yes.
like at the convention. Let's just not talk about that.
All right, so Denzel, one more for you.
Yes. Would you rather see Judith bit or see Carl bit?
Wow.
I'd rather see Carl bit.
Why would you want to see a baby?
Yeah, well, I don't want to see a baby get bit.
I'm not saying I would pick Judith. I just
You wrote the cards.
I wrote the cards. I didn't say I hope he picks Judith.
You're
Like,
demented.
those are your options.
You're an
and
evil
go with
person.
it.
Why would you make me do this?
So Carl, why would you prefer to see Carl bit over Judith?
I mean, it's a baby.
Okay.
It's two
How has
babies.
she contributed? Just to give you like an opposing thought, how has she contributed?
It's a baby.
Okay.
She's
All right.
food.
All right.
Just
Scenario.
kidding.
No,
That
no,
was
okay,
really
No,
wrong.
let's pretend I'm a terrible human being for a second. Yes, I would rather see Judith get bit because Carl can contribute more to the group. He can kill all the walkers. He can...
You can throw baby into a pile of walkers.
Wow, man.
David, our audio guy, he
Distraction.
writes,
So we're
I
just
kind of
gonna-
want to see...
If I was a bad person, then I would say that.
David, our audio guy, writes, I kind of want to see baby intestines.
So I'm just going to pretend you guys are all also pretending you're terrible human beings.
But I am
'cause
pretending.
I would rather not be in this room. And obviously, I'd rather have Carl. But either way, we're going to die.
Well, with that attitude, you're going to die. All right,
Okay.
last one. Last one. Would you rather use Daryl's crossbow, but only have 2 arrows ever, or only use Tyrese's hammer? Ever.
Ever. Well, you can reuse your arrows, right?
Yeah,
Only
but
to a certain
eventually,
extent.
like you, like in the show, you see like Daryl's arrows like
But a
split.
hammer's really not that good of a
Yes.
weapon.
Yes,
it's
it is.
so close.
Well, Tyrese's hammer was
contact.
long.
Yeah.
It was long.
No, wow. So,
I'm offended.
Oh, man. Captain Hammer.
so the hammer he was wielding to kill zombies was long.
Nice sentence. Nice sentence.
Thank
You
you.
have way to go. Rephrase this.
I mean,
So, I'd pick the hammer.
you can still hit him over the head with the crossbow, like Daryl's been doing
But
lately.
that's just so like cumbersome.
He like
it
gun
would-
butts him.
yeah.
It's like, it's harder to...
it would
know.
definitely have to be the hammer, just because the hammer,
I just don't have any strength.
it has this kind of just persistence of just being there in your hand. Whereas an actual arrow, if you throw it and then you get overwhelmed with zombies, that arrow is 50 feet away from you. You gotta run.
Yeah.
So with
good
a
point.
hammer, it's always in your hand. If you drop it, you can just pick it up real quick. So definitely hammer.
Well, good choice, Tyrese.
Thanks for the long hammer.
Yeah, thanks for the hammer. Thanks for the long hammer. All right, so going back to this episode was,
Cuckoo.
yeah, it was pretty nuts. I think it was more of like a character building episode more than anything else.
Yeah.
Not too much happened, but we did see a lot on some specific characters that were in the show.
Yeah, I definitely feel this episode was pretty bizarre. It was really awkward.
Very.
Yeah, I think it probably was more just because the group is in a more civilized setting. But yeah, I don't know. Jesse, what do you think?
Yeah, I think there's definitely more than meets the eye. Obviously, like this is definitely a setup for something to come later. I think much of the episode was very psychological for the characters, and I think the couple past episodes leading up to this one have really been kind of in the balance to really know whether these people are good or bad, and I think we're gonna find out pretty soon.
Definitely, that's a good point. So, and then right in the beginning of the episode, we saw a little bit of Sasha. She grabbed some frames. It was like some photos,
Yeah.
and she went out into the woods and just started shooting them.
She's a freak.
Yeah, she's like losing her mind. She
definitely.
she lost almost everyone that she loves. Bob, Tyrese, and I don't know. Do you guys think the state that she's in right now is something she can recover from?
What do you think, Sam?
I think she totally has PTSD, like bad. I don't know. I don't know. It could be more she could just be shocked. That's something you can recover from, but I don't really know. I just think it was so much to take in. Like, even for us just watching, we're like, this is so bizarre. This isn't their element. This isn't where it looks like they should be. So, I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like Sasha, she just keeps trying to reject everything. Like, it seems like she rejects the idea of family, hence why she was shooting up the frames. She's rejecting the idea of them being safe. Like, she wants to still be in that guarded mode, hence why she wants to be in the tower. Like, she just seems to want to reject everything.
Which rightfully so. I mean...
Yeah, it makes sense. She doesn't want to get too comfortable with any particular thing, but...
Yeah, like, and... even like putting her in a tower, like there would be no better person to put in a tower. One, she has like she's an impeccable shot. Like she definitely can shoot, and she just has all this stress and anger she needs to release. Just give her some rounds, give her a box of ammo, just go up there and just pop off rounds and take it all out, you know.
But anger could blind you. Like, I mean, this episode made me like Deanna a little bit better. Like, we got to see more of her. But I think there was a reason why she didn't put her in there. Like, I think she can see through some people, and I just don't... Even though we probably would have thought it was a good idea, maybe her anger would have just led to things that did need to happen, maybe.
Yeah, I mean... I don't know. I feel like if I'm going to have somebody watching over the entire group,
they need
like
to be
over
safe
the camp,
and
they need to be level-headed. You know, they need to be able to make the right decision and not just be filled with rage, you know, because obviously that rage will get you killed. So.
Definitely.
Yeah, it seems that for her, I know it's kind of a little bit off topic, but like whenever someone's doing surgery, for example, when they're doing an organ transplant, actually, and a new organ is being put inside someone's body, the entire body will reject it, and the organ will actually fight back against the body itself. And I think it's a little bit of what's going on with her is that she's put into this community, she's put into this kind of new body, this new community, and she feels that they are rejecting her in a sense that it's not real. Like, she's so used to the outside world, she's rejecting that kind of reality in her own head, and vice versa, that she thinks, obviously.
Yeah, and I think we saw a little bit of her. It was either the last episode or the episodes before that when they were at that bridge and they were sort of like pushing the zombies towards the bridge, and she was just recklessly like swinging her weapon. And she almost killed, what was it, Michonne?
Yeah.
So
she's definitely in a weird state of mind, and whether she can recover from it is, I don't know. It would surprise me if she did. I don't see her recovering from it, at least not anytime soon. And like her interactions lately, you know, we see her interactions at the party, and then we see her interactions specifically with Deanna the day after. It's just she's definitely, you know, has some resentment towards just the whole safe zone overall. And Deanna being the head of the whole ordeal, you know, she definitely has some resentment towards her.
Yeah, I'm actually glad you brought up the party because that's actually one thing that I was going to start talking about. So we can all generally agree that, you know, Sasha's kind of acting a little reckless, you know, obviously not thinking 100% clearly. But there's one thing that she did like say or kind of get upset about at the party that I do think makes some sense. You know, I forgot exactly what it was that she said, but she was upset with the woman that was the one thing that she was worried about. It's like, making the right meal. Yeah, making her the right meal or whatever. It's like, really? Like, we're in the middle of a zombie apocalypse. We're pretty much worried about our lives every day. You're worried about making me the right meal? Like, I'm just lucky to have food to begin with. So
yeah, I just to them it seems really bizarre because when they first came in and they were doing the interviews, and Rick was so surprised that Deanna was like, yeah, we've been here since the beginning. And he's like, you've been behind these walls this entire time. And he's probably thinking, we've had to go through all of this entire time, and you guys are just sitting back here. But like the woman, I don't think her name was relevant, but the woman that asked her, you know, that was like, they don't think of it like that. I don't think they've had to see like the horrors that are outside of their walls. They've been there, they've been in this community safe and sound. So, you know, it would only make sense that that's what she's really quote unquote worried about.
And the party overall, I try to look at it a few different ways, and Jesse and I had a conversation about this previous. So I thought of it as, you know, Deanna wants something, you know, an environment for everyone to relax, everyone to sort of have a good time, to really show the group what Alexandria's Safe Zone is all about, get them to relax. But if we really look at Deanna, we really don't know 100% what her intentions are. But if we look at her as a person, what we know about her, when earlier in the episode when Sasha says, "Hey, if we're putting someone up in that tower, like put me up there. I'll take as many shifts as I can." And she says, "Well, I'll do that, but you do me a favor and you come to this party." So I really started thinking about that. So maybe Deanna was using this party to sort of put the group into a new environment and see how they would react. Clearly, Sasha she freaked out. So that already in Deanna's head is like, wait a second. I don't know if she's stabilized, if we can really trust her to do a lot of things. So, and Jesse also made a good point earlier when you said, Aaron said something about auditions and the interviews that they had. Yeah, go ahead. Why don't you explain it? Because I know you had a good point.
So basically, going back to Deanna's character, like she's a very calculated person. So obviously, we all know from watching this season that she was in Congress, which means she knows not only her numbers, she knows her enemies, and she's extremely meticulous in how she'll play out or have plans. So going back to what Orlando and I were talking about earlier, is that Aaron did say early on in the season that there's sort of these auditions, and he kind of made a joke about it, but he was being serious to a degree, and when they all got to the town, none of them had an audition. Now, they were interviewed. We all know that because they were all recorded, but these interviews, they're not really auditions. An audition implies that you're going to act for a part, that someone's going to see your reaction or see you do something. So my theory that I was talking about earlier is that everything that has happened so far up until now in the season actually has been an audition. Everything from the horse that we saw in this episode, I'm sure we'll go over later, to Sasha and her reaction.
Gotcha.
Even to some of the fights going on between Glenn and Deanna's son as well. So
absolutely,
that's my theory. Denzel?
I actually think, from what you were saying about the audition side of things, if I remember correctly, Aaron said that they had already auditioned. That them being tracked for like 2 weeks or whatever it was basically their audition.
Well, because part of it, he did say that I've been tracking you to even consider you for an audition.
Oh, okay.
So I think they're like, because even she said, Deanna said when Rick was in the room, in the video with the videotape, she said, "You're the first person that we've considered in a very long time to even come," and I think she wouldn't be as careless as to let someone in so quickly without a real audition. Someone's as meticulous and as calculated as her, absolutely. Yeah. You know what I mean? So that's my theory, though.
Okay. Also, another thing too that you guys were talking about as far as the party goes, and not Carol, Sasha. So I think one of the bigger reasons why Deanne actually had her go to the party was more to the fact that they want everyone in the community to see Sasha. You know, if she's going to be the person watching out and, you know, kind of protecting them, being like an eye over the entire group, I guess you could say. Obviously, people want to feel comfortable with her and they want to meet her and, you know, put a face to the person that's going to be protecting them. So that's a big part of why she probably had him go to the party.
Yeah, definitely. I know exactly what you mean. So I feel like that was definitely sort of another part of their overall audition and just seeing them in a new environment, seeing how they would react. Let's talk a little bit about Carol.
The boogeyman.
The boogeyman. She was freaking me out. And we all know Carol can hide, you know, the way she really is.
Hashtag chameleon Carol.
Chameleon Carol. Like, she can literally, with a, you know, the flip of a switch, just change altogether. What exactly did she say to the kid? I think after like 15 seconds of her talking, I was so freaked out. I was just like, what?
And the crazy thing is, it's like, it makes, what she said to him made you, we all know, like, you either die by the hands of someone or you're dying by zombies, but she really spelled out what happens to everyone. Like, this wasn't a nightmare she made up. This is a nightmare that's already out there. So she just described it in perfect detail, which was freaking me out.
And she knew only how much of an impact it would make, considering that this kid probably has never seen someone getting eaten by zombies.
Exactly.
So, and
do you think she'd do it?
I don't know, but so in that instant, she had to have weighed her pros and cons. Like, what will happen if I say this to this kid, or what will happen if this kid, you know,
she would have absolutely done it. I mean,
yeah,
absolutely done it, because I think out of anyone, we've seen Kara go to the most extremes. Like,
oh yeah.
I mean, and like, obviously she has the like really good intentions. She's not this like malicious murderer, but having said that, she has absolutely crossed the line. Like, Killian Tyrese's lover back in the prison, and then even the little girl, the two girls, like she will go to any extreme to keep those whom she loves most
Absolutely.
safe. You know, and I would say she was not joking.
I would, to be honest, I would have done the same thing because I could have one of two things could have happened. Either the kid could have said something, and they kick her out, or something drastic happens to her, or she says that to the kid, and then the kid said something about Carol saying that to her, and and the same thing happened. So either way, she took a chance by trying to have this kid not say anything. So I think that was good. That was a good move on her end, and she's been playing a lot of crazy hands this season. She's been playing a lot of hands, and Deanna, in my opinion, Deanna can see through that.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely, she can see through that from the interview all the way till now, and she's playing it out.
That's one of the I think that's one of the beautiful like characteristics that they saw in the group. How awesome they are at their own little thing. They each have their own little thing they can do, and Carol's just that. She's literally a chameleon. She can do anything. She will blend into anything. Just like she told Rick when he was walking outside, she's like, we can be invisible again. Yeah. Like, that was perfect.
Again, like Jesse said, she has the mindset where she wants to take care of the group. Anything or anyone that's going to endanger them, she will be more than happy to taking them out of the way.
Yeah.
Yep. Exactly, dispose of them. She has. I wrote down. She has the same mindset as Rick. When we see, her, Rick, and Daryl go out, and Carol brings all those guns, Daryl was sort of like, well, I don't know if I want to carry a gun this time. I mean, for other reasons that we'll talk about in a bit.
Don't get soft on me, man.
But we see that Carol and Rick are like, dude, what are you talking about? Like, we definitely, we have to have the jump on these guys. We have to always be 1-2 steps ahead of them. So, absolutely. And Rick overall, Jesse. Not our Jessie, but the show Jessie.
Oh man,
that's right. You're cuter than her.
Yeah, okay.
She's pretty hot.
She is
gorgeous. What do you have to say about it, Denzel? What do you think
about Jessie?
Yeah, or about just the whole overall.
I can say a lot.
All right, let me get myself together. She's hot, but I'm a little worried about Rick though. I'm a little worried about that.
Definitely.
He's a little whipped. I don't know what the right term is. He's definitely. He's not seeing right.
He's possessed by a thought.
Yeah.
Of God knows what. I don't even know.
Shane.
He's looking like he's moving to that direction. That's pretty scary. Kissing another man's woman, and like that weird night after the party where he had his hand on the gun. That was just very strangely reminiscent.
He has hand on gun.
It's not like him. Like it's so crazy how he's changing. He's scaring me.
But it's like we were talking about in another episode. Like eventually, you live long enough to become the bad guy, and like it seems like that's what he's getting to.
No,
he wants
Rick.
to take over the Alexandrians. He wants to take another a man's woman. Like it's just I don't know, scary.
But how is he becoming a bad guy? But like in what sense? If you're looking from being in his group, he just wants to protect you. So if having to take over, this group, like in my mindset, I feel like he's going to try and take over Alexandria. Like he's going to want to take it over, and he's going to want to take this guy's wife. I think that's wrong. Like I think that's wrong, wanting to take over his wife, wanting to take over
his wife.
Well, wanting to take his wife from him. But I don't think wanting to take Alexandria is as bad as everyone thinks.
But how would it be good? Like so he has no understanding of whether these people are good or bad.
Okay.
So he's literally just saying he wants to take this place from these people. What is he going to do with them at that point?
What would matter to you more if the folks in Alexandria survived easier and better in Alexandria, or if our group survived better in Alexandria, regardless of the progression of the story?
So
if this is how it had to end.
So I mean, I guess it's all a matter of perception, right? So you're looking at it as, okay, like either the group survives or the Alexandrians survive. Mm-hmm. And that's, I mean, obviously that's going to be a biased view of it. Mm-hmm. Realistically, it's not right to take something from someone, one way or another. If Rick is to take the group, take Alexandria, it's wrong,
Absolutely.
Like there's no reason why you can't live there harmoniously together.
Yeah. It wouldn't bother me if you took it. I don't know.
But just overall, like we see like Rick's change in his character. Going back to him and Jesse, Before we move on, a little Easter egg that I realized after watching the show. The red A stamps that he had with... Did Jesse have one as well? Are you sure we definitely saw one on her? Because I know her husband had one, right?
Yeah. Her son, like, it was like a stamp for, like, people that he likes.
Yeah,
so.
They primarily showed, like, Jesse having
Okay.
it. They, like,
Well,
really focused on it.
It's a red A, which back in the time that would be the scarlet, like, letter. That would be adultery. And,
Boom.
like, when they were walking, like, before that scene where Rick touches his gun while they're walking away, like, they held up their A's, like, yeah, adultery.
She's gonna be touching his gun.
Oh. But yeah, they, like, held it up
Loaded.
like, yeah, we know what's going on between us. You know you liked it. So...
So also, as far as that A goes, it actually kind of reminds me of a flashback from Terminus. Actually, no. Was it? Yeah, the group from Terminus. So Garth marked an A on the church. I think it was episode 3 of this season for
Gareth,
Walls on a Roof.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I mean, it's just a weird like flashback in a sense.
There was an A?
Yeah.
On the church?
On the church, yeah.
They were looking
Father
right at her.
Gabriel's?
Mhm.
Really? I don't know why I didn't
What do you-
realize that.
I mean, A. Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah.
I feel like all these letters are gonna spell out one big word. We have A and W. Like,
Wow. Or
Wow.
aw.
So just going back real quick a little bit to Rick wanting to take over. I think obviously this episode and the episodes previous really is a question of how does each individual in the group reintegrate themselves back into what little society Alexandria has been able to recreate from before the infection, and we can obviously see that every single character is taking it differently. So it seems as though to Rick there is no good or evil. To him, he could care less about good or evil. It has nothing to do with good deeds or bad deeds. It has to do with survival, and that's all he sees. And I think Carol is along the same lines. But something I want to point out actually just real quick is Glenn. And something I noticed actually recently is you can actually see it where Carol and Rick lost their loved ones, and they lost a lot, especially Sasha as well. And you can see those 3 characters breaking down. But when you look at Glenn, although Glenn did lose a lot of people as well, look at the people that he really was talking to. Dale. Dale was the most moral man ever to come across the show. And he seriously influenced Glenn. And then after that, you have Herschel, and he married Herschel's daughter.
Yeah.
And Herschel as well was extremely moral. So I think Glenn, throughout the season, no matter what he faces, always challenges the group to constantly be moral, especially Rick. So even when what's his face, Aaron shows up, he wants him to sleep on the other side of that barn. And Glenn was like, no, we're not going to treat him like an animal. We'll leave him with his loved one. And I think time and time again, not fighting with Deanna's son, he's shown to, although no matter what he goes through, he's able to reintegrate himself back into society and still care about what is good
Even
and what is bad.
even though he went through that whole thing with the governor and Maggie.
Oh, absolutely.
Because he flipped out for a little bit.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
So, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but all the characters that you just mentioned are dead. So, are you foreshadowing that Glenn may die?
it's been foreshadowed already.
I didn't
Multiple
think of
times.
that.
That
And
baseball bat.
I didn't think of that. And here's maybe a rebuttal to that, I guess. No offense, but Dale didn't really have anything to live for. So, yes, he wanted to survive, but he
As
cared.
far as people go,
I would say yes as people, because he did care a lot about Andrea. Absolutely.
At the
There's
time.
no doubt about that at the time. But he knew that his time would come soon, and he wanted her to live on, and he knew that he was not going to make it. And I would say the exact same thing about Herschel. And that's why Herschel invested heavily in Glenn, and obviously was proud to have his daughter marry Glenn, because he knew he was old enough. He's old, his girls are young, he wants them to marry and pass him on. Glenn, on the other hand, has a wife, and he has his life ahead of him. So I would say, yeah.
But all I was saying was the morality piece. When you question their morals, I mean, it just seems like they end up dying at the end of the day. Like,
I hope not.
I mean, I absolutely hope Glenn does not die, and anyone who's read the comic books knows what happens.
Yeah.
But it does seem like actually that you kind of mentioned that his whole morality. I mean,
Seems to die away.
yeah, Tyrese was a pretty moral character too, and then look what happened to him. So
Very true.
yeah, let's. Yeah, so this episode was definitely, again, like we keep saying it, it's a person, it's a character episode. Yeah,
Very
character driven. Very character driven. So when Deanna's husband, what's his name?
Reggie.
Reggie, yeah.
Reggie.
Thank you. So when
Reggie?
Reggie was talking, when Reggie was talking to Rick, and Rick was like, "No, I'm fine. I don't want to drink." Well, I'm trying to do a Rick voice. No, I'm fine. I don't know. If that's a good one. But
That's kind of good. That's all right.
So when he was like, "No, I'm fine. I'm good. I don't need a drink." He goes, "Well, you don't have to be good." So do you think Rick, smiled and relaxed because he really thought, "Hey, maybe I could relax," or he's just faking it? Again, he's just playing to his role. What do you think?
That's the beauty of it. We don't know.
I don't know. I think he is.
He's faking or being real?
I think he's faking the whole smile and having fun at the party, because the day after we see how crazy he gets. Like he holds his gun because he wants Jesse, and I don't know, the way he was like up against the wall at the end of the show, like that was at the end of the episode, that was weird.
Like he was like touching
he was
his
almost
property.
like,
He's like,
"This is mine."
yeah,
I don't know.
I would have to agree that he's faking it, because he still does not trust this group. Like, he's been screwed over so many times. I mean, Shane being the first one, and obviously like a severe, devastating blow, and just time and time again, just these things happening. And Terminus, I think for Rick possibly was the last straw. Like, he was not going to have it after that. And I think Rick, it will take. So let's say, for example, that the people of Alexandria are absolutely legit. It will take a very, very, very long time to Rick to gain some kind of trust in them, even if they are legit. So again, going back to the whole audition thing that I was saying, I still think that all this is an audition, but the question is it for good intentions or bad intentions? And I don't think Rick cares. I don't think he cares what kind of intentions they have. I think he just wants to survive and possibly take that town if he really wants to.
Yeah. I think we can all agree that Rick is on some other stuff. But actually, as far as what you were talking about with the audition, it kind of brings me over to Daryl, the one person who actually wasn't at the party.
True.
What do you guys think about his whole arc of this episode with Aaron and his little hunting episode?
So like, I don't know, Daryl, this episode we saw a new side of him when the music started playing, when he was walking up when he was walking up towards the horse. It was relaxing, and it was calming, and it showed a different side of Daryl that we normally don't see. We don't see him get emotional too much. But do you think it symbolized something when he was trying to calm the horse, when he was trying to tame the horse? Do you guys think it symbolized anything?
Absolutely.
This whole show is symbolism.
Mm-hmm.
Did you want to? I don't know.
No, I was just gonna say, I definitely think that there was a little bit of symbolism in that. So no one can really, speaking words, I guess, could tame Daryl. Like, Daryl he's not somebody who could sit down and just be like, "Hey, how you doing?" Like, he's just not that kind of person. You know what I mean? And I think that horse kind of resembles the fact that, although very strong, not tamed on purpose, just not tamed. And I think the fact that, I don't know, like, kind of going back to what Denzel said, is it foreshadowing? Like, poor horse, jeez, like, that sucks, but is that foreshadowing? Kind of like Glenn? Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. So I took this both ways. So definitely symbolism. Horses, we all know, symbolize freedom. And I definitely think that we can put it that the horse was symbolizing Daryl. He's always, like the runner of the group. He always goes his own way. He always makes his way back to the group. So that can just symbolize Daryl being on his own and, like doing his own thing. But when Aaron said that the horse always ran and it didn't, it died. And we see in this episode that Daryl's sort of, I don't know if I'd call it softening up, but he's definitely changing. Like when Carol finally went through all that, threatening this poor little boy to get those guns, and Daryl's like, no, like, I don't want it anymore. It's just like, are you serious? Like, you're changing. So that can easily just be Daryl not running anymore, and that could be the death of him. So
I hope not.
I don't know.
If Daryl dies, we riot. No, I don't own that shirt. Maybe I do. I don't know.
So actually, Sam, to your point, as far as what you're talking about, him being out in the wild and roaming and all that type of stuff, it seems like that's definitely something that Aaron's recognized, and obviously, it leads to him asking him to be out and out there as a recruiter, because Aaron said that he definitely knows the difference between a good person and a bad person, unlike people like Rick or Carol, who seem to be kind of losing it a little bit. And it's actually kind of funny how everything's kind of shifted. So basically, you know, when we started Walking Dead as a whole, Rick was definitely seen as the good guy. You know, Carol was kind of beaten and battered, you know, timid a little bit. Sasha, you know, when we finally introduced her character, you know, she had her own things going on. But, you know, through just about everything, Daryl's been one of those guys who's been the loner. He's always kind of been the irrational one at some level, you know, and when they first introduced him, nobody really liked him because, you know, he was kind of going off the handle, kind of a little redneckish or whatnot. And his character development over all these seasons has brought him to the point now where, if anything, I would actually trust Daryl to make the most rational decision out of anybody else in the group. Probably next to Michonne, if anything.
Yeah, definitely.
Actually, you know what? Now that I think about it, it'd probably be Michonne, Daryl, and then and Glenn. Like, the second tier characters have kind of manned up in a sense, and they can actually be leaders in their own right.
Absolutely. Yeah, because Glenn keeps, you know, he's that morality. He's very moral. Yep.
When you were talking about, just like reminiscing about how people used to be, was it Daryl or Aaron that made that quote about if you're out there long enough, you become who you really
are. The more you're out there, the more you become what you are.
Yeah,
that's Daryl.
I think that kind of summed up this episode, like, as a, you know, in a nutshell. But just going back to when Aaron made him a recruiter, I don't know. I feel like I have mixed feelings about that. I don't really know what I'd put Daryl as in the community, but I feel like as a survivor, if I'm out there long enough, just like the group was, and someone like Daryl approached me about a community, I don't know if I'd be so quick to run into. I mean, I would be quick to run into his arms. Don't get me wrong. But I wouldn't. I don't know. I wouldn't be so quick to follow him.
I think going back a little bit to the whole, you become who you really are. The longer you're out there. I think in Daryl's case, it's actually not really a bad thing, because he does say in earlier seasons that he finds more of a place in this world than he did in the last world. So, and he's been out there pretty long. I mean, let's admit, he's pretty badass. He eats like squirrels, you know what I mean? Like, he doesn't even cook them. So it's like,
I've eaten a squirrel before.
That's disgusting.
You guys don't call me badass.
You're gross. But I think it's very interesting in going into the whole like recruiting thing. I'm saying this is my theory, dude. It is an audition. Like, Aaron is in on it. Deanna, they're all. It's a huge audition. Like, he brought Daryl out to go in, you know, find people or whatever. I wasn't following you. Absolutely, come on, dude. You absolutely were. You followed them for months.
Yeah, let me piggyback off that, because Aaron always has something to hide in a way. Like, he always seems to have the convenient answer to whatever question they ask him.
Yeah.
And it definitely seems like he's hiding something. Maybe it's not like a big deal what he's hiding, but I feel like it's definitely something that he's hiding. So it's like, oh yeah, I was hunting for rabbits or whatever. No, dude, like, you were following him. Like, I don't know, like, wouldn't you just tell him anyways? Yeah, I was following you. I would have just told him right there, like, hey, like, this is why I was following you. I know he wanted to save it for later that night, because he had the bike and everything, and you wanted to show him. But I thought it was kind of funny too, like, when they were having dinner, and then he was like eating the spaghetti, and he just like used his arm, this t-shirt or whatever to clean his face. I thought that was funny. Yeah, savage. That's so Daryl.
Savages.
But actually, as far as what you guys are talking about as the audition goes, I mean, I think that little portion where he was following him was probably Daryl's audition, you know, to see how he would react if Aaron caught him, more or less, following him. And, you know, anyone else in the group, their reaction probably would have been a little bit more hostile, but Daryl was pretty much like, okay, well, you know, maybe you lied to me, maybe you're following me, it doesn't really matter at this point, you know, but keep up with me now.
Yeah.
You know, let's see how you are. I'm gonna see how you are as a person, and I kind of can tell that you're trying to test me too. And, you know, led us to eventually him being a little recruiter.
There you go. So yeah, guys, to sum up this episode, it was very character driven, and we learned a lot. These guys are some crazy folks, and I don't know. I'm very curious to see how the season plays out, and if anyone dies, someone has to die.
No.
No?
I don't want anyone to die.
I have to add a little side note for the women of The Walking Dead, or the viewers. So, since you guys deprived us of a shower scene, you have to give us a sexy motorcycle fixing scene with Daryl.
Fixing scene.
Have him
I don't know if I can agree to that.
bent over in a mini jean skirt.
Wow.
Jeez.
We're not talking about Aaron. We're talking about Daryl.
Yeah, you're more likely to find Aaron and his partner doing that.
So, okay, so you want to see Daryl in a nice, sexy scene. Cool, we got you.
Fixing his,
I know what you're saying. I can't blame you.
Yep.
So, yeah, guys, thanks for joining us again. Actually, before we go, I just want to say congrats to the Walker Stalkers.
Woo!
They're going to be on next episode.
I'm
They're gonna
so
be
jealous.
in the episode. Like, that's awesome.
I'm jelly.
Seriously,
so
I think that's
jelly.
everyone. I think that's every Walking Dead fan's dream.
yeah.
Like,
I would totally be a Walker.
seriously, I think I've stalked AtlanticCastingCall.com like a million times for the chance.
Good. I mean, good job. You guys are doing a great job. I
guys
hope.
are
I hope you're
awesome.
listening. It would mean a lot to us if you are.
Yeah.
You guys out there, comment. Subscribe or whatever social networking you're using or YouTube to watch our videos. Yeah, we're there, and definitely comment and let us know what you think. Let us know if you. We're trying to come up with a whole calling system so you guys can call in. We're trying to add some actual video to these videos. So definitely let us know. We're super excited that you guys are tuning in, and yeah. So thanks, Jesse, for
Yeah, no problem.
for jumping in this episode. We're definitely gonna have you on more episodes.
Sounds good.
We miss Brandon, but it's okay.
I'm better. I'm way
That
better.
crazy fool. So this is Orlando.
This is Denzel.
And this is Samantha.
This is Jesse.
Keep it vibing.
Keep it vibing.
vibing. Because
'Cause
we're all walkers.
Ow.